You have ever said, how the heck do I balance life and business? Then this is going to be a topic just for you. Do you have a schedule? What is a schedule? What does your schedule look like? Everybody needs a schedule because it is a way to protect your time. And if you don't schedule in time, then the day is just going to escape from you. I read this in a book and I was like, oh my goodness, shoot, I am wasting my day away. If your day is not scheduled, you're wasting your day. If it's not in your book or your calendar, chances are you're not going to get it done. This was something that I really had to figure out how to do. I have 3 kids. Life is interesting with small kids. So I'm going to share what has helped me kind of get a grip on my calendar, not be so rigid, but also allowing some flexibility, having smaller kids and working business and being a wife, especially over this last year of teaching my kids from home. The thing that you want to start with is, what are your top 5 to 6 priorities? I'm going to share with you mine. Mine is my personal relationship with God. That includes like Bible reading, Bible devotions, church, and midweek Bible study. Myself and my health. So working out, any type of personal care, like having a moment away from my kids. That makes me a better mom in person. I need that. Side note about that is, I honestly used to think that self-care was selfish. I hated taking time for myself. And what I've come to realize, that it's not selfish. It is selfless. It's a selfless act for you to do, to take care of yourself, so that way you can pour into the people that you love. You can pour into your grandbabies, pour into your children, pour into your family members, pour into your business, pour into your customers, pour into team members. If you are burnt out, you can't do that. People aren't going to get you at 100%. They're going to get you at like a 50% person who's stressed out and all of that, burnt out. Self-care, it is whatever makes you feel good. And that's different for everybody. That could be girl time, that can be coffee time, that can be time with yourself for 5 minutes. That can be taking a bath, going out for a pedicure, going out for a walk. Whatever makes you feel good, whatever fuels you up and rejuvenates you, is self-care. And I recommend doing that at least once a day, even if it's 5 minutes a day. You're important. Your mental, emotional, and physical health is important. And then marriage, family, kids is another priority. So I need date night. Do we want date night? Yeah, probably. What family things do I want to do? Do we want to go out? Do I want to go visit my mom, my in-laws? What's going on there? Like, what activities do you guys do? Like, do you guys do like a family game night? And then anything with kids. So like kids going to school, preschool, kid activities, anything having to do with your kids. That's a priority. Your business is a priority. You pouring into your business allows more freedom with time and blessing other people, and you make money by doing it intentionally. Friends and tribe. Okay, this is a big one. Before I learned this, I never really took the time for friends. It's like, 1, I'm an introvert. 2, I don't really like people because I don't like drama that comes with it. Here's the thing. Your tribe, your friends, your group of people, if you're not nourishing those relationships, when life gets hard, you're not going to have anybody to fall back onto. They're there to talk to connect with, to spot if like something's wrong. And if something happens in your life, they're going to be there for you. So it's very, very important to take time for your friends. So I know right now with being a pandemic, it's like, how do I do that? Well, you can schedule virtual meetups. Here in Washington, things are slowly opening. I've been able to like go out places with some friends, make some time for your friends. And then travel and making memories. Sometimes we can have such a jam-packed, rigid schedule that it's all like bam, bam, bam. When are you taking that time to create memories with your children and your grandchildren? When are you taking that time to travel and go do something, even if it's down the road to a park? That should be a priority in your schedule, because you don't want to go, and then realize that, oh shoot, I haven't taken that time to make connections and to make memories. That's going to fuel you. What do you want out of this business? That is very, very important to think about. Is, what do you want out of this business? Do you want more time with your kids, your grandkids? Do you want more money? This business can do whatever you want, whether it's, here and there, if that's what you want, or if you want to rise to the top of the company, this business can offer, it can be that for you. You can do anything you want. Big thing is to know, what the heck do you want out of this business? Because that will allow you to kind of figure out how much time you should dedicate to business. If you really want to grow your business, then what I recommend is doing 1 hour a day. And that's just not like getting on social media and just, oh, hey, I posted some things. No. Being super, super intentional, booking parties, customer care, follow-up, hostess coaching, and making connections for recruiting. Those are your top priorities, is to do that. Those are needle moving, income producing activities. And really, if you're super, super intentional with your time, you can have that done in less than a half an hour a day. Just got to be like super, super focused. When it comes to getting things on a calendar, what works for me is on Google Calendar, you can create multiple calendars underneath your account. So I have a time blocking calendar where I schedule out my day, and I start with my priorities. Your priorities are those rocks. Have you heard of that term where you have a jar and you stick your rocks in, and then you stick sand in, and then you pour the water in? Your priorities are those rocks. You want to stick those rocks into your schedule first. Let's start with kids, because like kids, grandkids, family stuff, that's a really big thing. So I go in and I say, okay, well, when is schooling for my kids? All of my kid related activities, all of my family related activities in there, and then, talk to my husband and say, okay, well, how often do we want to go on a date? And then put that in. How often do I want to connect with my friends? I try and connect with a friend, like do like a get together with a friend at least once a month. Schedule that in, stick it in. Self and health, when does that work for you? When do you want to wake up in the morning? When is lunch? And when do you want to have dinner? I know those are really, really small things. It's really, really good to track all of those, because when you see all of that time beginning to fill up, you're going to begin to recognize where you can fit your business into those spots. So I fill all of those things up, then I see spaces and I'm like, oh, well, I have, my daughter's in preschool from 12:30 to 3. So I have a chunk of time right there that I can do some business related tasks. Older kids are in school from this time to this time, so I can shoot out some messages. And so having it all laid out is super, super helpful. And then, it doesn't have to be like an hour a day. It could be like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I'm in the bathroom alone. Let me send out this message. I've done that. Just leave me alone. Mommy's in the bathroom, please. Tracking everything, that is going to allow you to figure out where those pockets of times are. Those pockets of times, that's when you want to just quickly get a message out, do some check-in. On the Google Calendar, I get super overwhelmed when I see my day
like lined out. If I were to show that on my Google Calendar view every single day, I would break down. And so I glance at it, but then I hide it. So that way it's not like staring at me like, oh, hey, you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Because that to me is stressful. And then that's when anxiety starts to flare up with the overwhelm. And so recognizing those different things for you will be helpful. And then when it comes to kids, my kids are 11, 8, and 5. And so they're at the age where I can talk to them and say, okay, well, mommy needs to work her business. Would you prefer mommy to work her business in the morning or at nighttime? Or in the morning, in the afternoon, and get their buy-in. And I do this with my husband too, when we're trying to figure out like a party night, and say, okay, I'm thinking about doing a party night on this night. Does that work well with our schedule? And so having that communication back and forth and getting the people that you live with, their buy-in is going to help when it comes to working your business. Because, you know, if your kids say, yeah, the afternoon works, and they come in here and they're interrupting, so I stop and I say, hey, remember mommy wants to work her business, and why is that important? We talk about like why it's important to work the business intentionally. Then I say, when we talked about this, you said the afternoon works for mommy to do some work on the computer. Does that still work for you? Or do we need to talk about when a better time would be? And that kind of reminds them like, oh, okay. And they're like, no, it still works now. And I said, okay, I'm going to work for a little bit longer. After I'm done working, what would you like to do? And then I go do whatever they want to do, whatever, even if it's watching Fancy Nancy and Princess Sophia, even though I swear we've seen all of the episodes. That's Tracy and my 5-year-old. Having that conversation, it's the buy-in. And then if it's like smaller kids, that's when you might need to get a little bit creative. My kids have always been pretty independent. When Jadzia was younger, she was a clingy baby. So I had her on my back when I worked on my computer, had her on my front when I was running parties. I would have some family members come over and cuddle, friends come over like, hey, can you cuddle my baby? So that way I can get this done. Or like tummy time, the swing, kind of get creative and use that. And then whenever you catch yourself scrolling on social media, unless it's like allotted time, you know, if you just like getting on there scrolling, like if you have your day planned out, you can be like, oh, you know what? I actually should probably stop doing this, do this, and come back to it later. And that's still something that I work on personally, like is being super intentional and building those habits up, because man, that can be hard. Those are the main things that has helped me. A couple of books I recommend is Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt, No Excuses by Brian Tracy, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and The One Thing by Gary Keller. Those are like my favorite books on the topic. And Life in Colors. So all of my colors are really, really close together. Colors orange, gold, green, blue. And so all of the opposite colors are close to each other, and they're all really, really close. And so it's like I have a hard time with being so structured because that stresses out. But if I'm too lax, that stresses me out. Being able to create a calendar where I have my main priorities in there, and then I have blocks of time, allows me to have structure but flexibility, so that way I'm still able to fit everything that I want in, because you get to choose what you do with your time. You can say no to people, and you get to choose what you want to do. I hope this was helpful